What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Payne. Welcome back to another Honkai Star Rail video. Alright guys, this one's going to be a fairly important one because it's the top 10 things you want to do when you start playing the game. These are very important because they're going to be all about resource management, how to gain material, what the best way to use your resources is, and other things that'll make the game a lot more enjoyable for you. So let's talk about number one. That is going to be managing your fuel. That's right, there is a resin type Genshin Impact energy source called fuel, essentially. And what fuel does is allows you to do special things like farm dungeons, bosses, etc. And it is an extremely rare thing that you want to maintain and not use as soon as you get it. Fuel is rare. Don't rush into finishing content too quick because you want to save it for higher end content. It is something that you will get through leveling up, through progression, through story mode, but it's something that also doesn't drop all the time. So make sure fuel is used effectively to finish mostly endgame content to get some of those better items as you play the game. All right, number two, probably a very important one. Don't push through completion too quickly. You'll hit a wall and you'll probably get bored. This happened to a lot of Genshin players, including myself when I play Genshin. Try to finish what you can before the next upgrade, of course, because you want to be on top of the material as soon as possible. But please don't rush. This game is expansive. It has a lot of exploration, has a lot of storyline and character development. So do not worry about pushing yourself to the end game, quote unquote, for the beginning of launch, because you're going to get stuck and you're probably going to hit a paywall. And especially for free to play, you don't want to do that because you get bored real quick. All right, moving on to number three. This one's going to be important because a lot of people are going to want to summon early and heavily, but don't use premium currency on standard banners. Go for banner ups always. So there's going to be special banners, limited time banners that give you banner up on specific characters that you're looking for. And those are the 5 stars. Use your premium currency, such as your gems, specifically on that. Do not use it on standard banners because it will essentially net you the same thing. And even if you don't get the 50-50 chance to get the unit, you'll still get a good 5-star that you probably will use in the future. A lot of people made the mistake in Genshin. A lot of people will make the same mistake here. So be wise, save your currencies, and go for the special limited banners that you want instead. All right, we talked about this earlier. Actually exploring the world and gathering the chests. There's a lot of good material and items that you don't want to miss. So take your time and don't worry about completing story mode because there's quite a bit to explore. Now, it's not as open as, let's say, Genshin Impact. It's more like a linear Final Fantasy 12 game where you do have paths, but there are treasure chests to explore and side quests, specifically side quests, guys, that you want to focus on and finish because they do give you more chests, more rewards for materials, EXP, Trailblazer power, etc. These are things that are going to help you throughout the game and make your life a little easier and more enjoyable, I might add. So definitely focus on getting yourself the side quests and exploration done while you're playing the game. All right, another thing, creating a cohesive team. Don't just invest because you like the characters and the way they look. If you want to advance in this game, you're going to have to do some team building. So main DPS, going to be probably your most important. Having a tank or someone that can soak damage, having a buffer to increase your damage output or the way you absorb damage, or having, debuffs on an opponent. And lastly, having a healer for survivability. Don't wear yourself thin. Resources are extremely scarce, especially free to play for a little while. Don't use them unnecessarily because as soon as you start putting your resources all over the place just because you like the way a unit looks is when you're going to fall into a lot of trouble and cause yourself more headaches than good. Log in to finish your dailies and your weekly dailies. Okay, so logging in is a pretty straightforward thing. A lot of you know this, but don't stop until you finish your dailies. Try to get those done. They're fairly easy to do. The weeklies also, you have a whole week to finish them. This will equate to easy currency, EXP materials, etc. that you don't want to miss. All right, because a lot of these will require you to use your fuel to get materials and EXP from dungeons and bosses. So rather than doing that, get those achievements done, get those weeklies done, and get those dailies done in order to maximize the amount of output you have and input that you get from the actual game itself. Okay, next one. Understanding elemental weakness and the breaking of set elemental weakness. This will make your combat easier and experience a lot more enjoyable. So every unit has a specific element tied to them. You guys need to understand that there will be bosses and enemies that have opposite elements that you should actually focus on. So try to build a pretty good unit, a squad that have various elementals. Weaknesses to other opponents and bosses that you plan to tackle will make your life a lot easier. You do more damage, you break their shield more often, and overall just makes the gaming experience a lot more fun. So elemental weakness is extremely important, guys. So definitely put focus on the units you plan to use and where they'll be utilized best. Okay, another thing. 4-star units will take you very far in this game. So don't only expect to rely on 5-star. If you're a whale, you're obviously going to aim for the 5 stars. You're going to go with the ones you want. This won't probably pertain to you, but it may. But the 4-star units that you get for free for a little while will take you fairly long through the game. And then eventually you'll be summoning and getting additional 4-star units, and they are fairly good. There are a couple on the tier list that I talked about already. Go back and check it out, but don't sleep on those 4 stars. You get more copies of them and more eidolons of them, so you can unlock more passives. And at the same time, they actually do put in quite a bit of work for you early on to mid-game. Eventually get that 5-star and you can replace a 4-star with that unit. But for now on, guys, don't fret. The 4 stars are very viable and they do actually push content pretty far. Okay, going into that, actually, don't waste materials on skills or cones too early. Just because you get a unit that you really like aesthetically, look at their kit, look at their skill set, and actually think if they're going to bring you to where you want game-wise. Unless you don't care about that and you're just there for waifus and husbandos, and that's kind of all you care about in the game is looks, then don't worry about this message. But for those who actually want to progress and make the most out of their units, make sure you understand the skills and the materials required, because there's a lot to work on in this game, but not enough materials to go around, especially for free-to-play. So try to focus on the units that will be part of your main team and how you plan to use them for a while. Don't just use them and let them be power crept, because that will happen eventually. But try to look at the units, try to explore the units that you like most and see how they perform in game before you start to invest them too heavily. All right. And that should pretty much be it, guys. I think those are the top 10 things right there. If you have any questions or any comments or any suggestions of other things you might want to add to this, please let me know in the comment section and we can continue talking about that. I'm super psyched, guys. Remember, pre-installation happens on April 23rd, which is 3 days from now, and the game actually drops 6 days from today. Get hyped. This game's going to be amazing. I cannot wait. I'll hopefully be doing a live stream the day it comes out, either in the evening or sometime in the morning, and we'll try to do through the storyline, at least get the warp going and try to summon for our first Gecko. And remember, I'm not re-rolling, but if you plan to, I put a re-roll guide out a couple days ago. You can check it out. It is an absolute nightmare to do. So for those who plan to do it, kudos to you. You got a lot of time in your hands. But me personally, I'm just going in with what I get, and we're going to just play the game and enjoy the story for what it is. All right, guys, this is Payne with another Honkai Star Rail video. Hope you guys are enjoying these. We'll talk soon.